Thursday, January 18, 2018 Board of Education regular meeting for Lincoln Way Community High School District 210. Please stand as you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Mrs. Black. Here. Ms. Janice Doyle. Here. Mr. Luchetti.
Here.
Mr. Lulo.
Here.
Mr. Janin.
Here.
Mr. Costick.
Here.
Mr. Perkins.
Here. Thank you. No one signed up for public comment? Okay. If not, we will move right to our student council presidents. Since Dizzy, you were here first, you've been sitting the longest, you can go first.
Okay, well, we'd like to welcome everyone back, and we hope everybody had a good holiday vacation. So before break, Student Council at West decided our twerp theme would be Candyland, based off of the children's board game. So twerp will be held on February 17th, and until then, that's Student Council's main priority is decorating and planning. As for the rest of West, we had our Illinois State Scholar Breakfast yesterday morning with over 70 students being honored as part of the Scholar Program. We also this morning had our World Language Honor Society inductions for Chinese, French, Spanish, and German with, I believe, over 100 students being honored into that. This Friday will be our elective fair for course selection for freshmen, sophomores, and juniors for next year. Us seniors are sitting out for the first time. And for Black Box Winter Play, February 1st, we're having 6 student senior directors who are all busy planning and preparing for that production. As for athletics, our wrestling has finally moved on to the postseason, and we'll be going to Stag this weekend for Rumble to get it started. We also have a cheer conference this Saturday at Andrew after JV placed first at their SWSC tournament last week. Boys bowling will be advancing to sectionals this Saturday as well. And girls basketball recently won against Central Tuesday night, and their season is phenomenally a 20 versus 3. And our dance team placed second at conference at Bolingbrook and will be advancing to the Geneva sectional this Saturday and hoping to go to state at the end of the month.
Thank you. Good report. All right, Michelle, you can go next. Elbow at you over there.
Okay, so the last time we met, Lincoln Way Central was gearing up for finals week, and to end the semester on a cheerful note, we decorated the AP room for the holidays, played holiday music during passing periods, and we passed out hot chocolate to all students on the very first morning of finals week. And as a student council, we also sponsored a family in need for the holidays, and it is safe to say that we killed finals week and ended 2017 with a bang. And we all know that winter break was relaxing, but I think most of us were ready to come back. The beginning of a new semester brings many new events for our student council, and in our coming meetings, we will hit the ground running with twerp and knight in shining armor. This year, using an electronic poll, we asked our entire student body to vote on a theme, and as the polls closed yesterday, it has been determined that this year's theme is going to be masquerade. We look forward to putting our heads together to plan and carry out yet another successful twerp week here at Lincoln Way Central. And while twerp plans are underway, it is important that we also kick off some early planning for a knight in shining armor. And for those of you who are unaware of what it is more or less a pageant for our senior boys. And this pageant consists of a lip sync battle, a talent portion, and a response to some formal questions. And this event is held together with our prom fashion show, and this year it will be on Thursday, March 22nd. And last year I attended this event, and I don't think I've ever laughed harder than I did that night. And this night does take a lot of planning and logistics on student council's end, but it never seems to be less than perfect. And for the most part, our semester is off to a busy start, but we're excited for all of the events to come, especially for us seniors who will be enjoying our final semester here at Lincoln Way Central.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything to say about West Central?
No, I'm neutral.
All right. Amanda.
All right, so the annual Mr. and Miss Griffin talent show preparation is in full swing. The competition is going to be on Saturday, February 27th in the auditorium. And then the practices for the Mr. and Miss Griffin portion began last week. And then tryouts for the talent show were yesterday and today. So we anticipate a full sellout of the 1,250 seats in the East Auditorium as proceeds go to funding the scholarships for the participants. Tour preparations have begun for student council. At the last meeting, we voted on a space theme. So we're going to decide the name and then the spirit days at this upcoming meeting. It's going to be on February 10th, and the entertainment's going to be by B96 Boom Entertainment. Over break, Lincoln Way senior and Northwestern recruit Devin O'Rourke became the first ever East football player to compete in the prestigious Under Armour All-America Bowl at the Rose Bowl in Orlando, Florida. He represented East well as he faced off against some of the top football players in the country, and he did well, so congratulations to him. In addition, East senior Kendall Pitlick performed with the marching band at the U.S. Army All-American Bowl in San Antonio, Texas, which deemed her one of the top 125 marching band members in the United States. She performed during halftime of the game, and we're very proud of her and happy that she was able to represent Lincoln Way Marching Band so well. Yesterday, Illinois State Senator Michael Hastings visited East to honor each member of the 2017 Class 8A State Championship football team. Each player and coach received a certificate from the Illinois State Senate for their achievements. And then over break, our girls basketball team performed extremely well in the annual Medieval Classic tournament. We were able to secure a win in the championship game as well, so congratulations to them. And then finally, our science department is going to be hosting Science Day on February 7th for all the incoming future Griffins from all the feeder schools, so I think it's K through 5th grade. So these kids are going to be participating in science-related activities, and they're going to be guided around by NHS members from East. So we hope that a bunch of future East students can be in attendance. Coming back from winter break, East is very excited for a successful second semester. We hope to continue the academic, athletic, and overall community success of the past semester.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, curriculum and instruction update.
Tonight I wanted to give you a little preview of the chaos that happens over the next month as we get all of our incoming freshmen set and schedules decided. And I gave you two sheets. They're also in the board docs. But the page that says recommendation scores at the top, what I'd really like to do is walk through the thinking and any of the changes on why we recommend kids for certain courses. Now, it's been a board policy for forever here that parents can waive students up. So we give recommendations. We don't give hard cut scores because the parents, the junior high teachers know sometimes better than a one-day test, but that gives us our starting point. So I'll go in order on the sheet, but social science is shifting this year, which I think is a great move for us. We're moving from Western Civ to a world history and geography. The driving force there is that there's an AP geography course that many schools have. Crete Moniz school that has it, one of the 230 schools, and that's their freshman entry-level AP. Right now it's U.S. history, and the kids have to take that as a sophomore, so gives any freshman that wants to go that direction a chance to get their toe in the water of AP. I think it's a great move, and also at 2018 it's probably time to move from Western Civ to more of a world history. So I think it's great for us. I'm really excited to see where that's going to go. As far as biology goes, last year we put in the environmental biology. If you've been to the foundation lunch or you've seen some of the moose skulls and things that are out there, that course was designed for the kids that need that hands-on, and that's really what it's become. Every one of the three teachers involved has a set of laptops, so they do a lot online. They read maybe as much as the regular ed kids, but they read different. They read things that are going to be, we're going to experiment this. We're going to look at this lab report. So I love the way that course is going. And so environmental biology is in year one, few tweaks for next year, but it looks great, and that's hands-on. The honors bio and biology remain as they are. And then you'll see that number on all of our recommendations. About 20% of our kids every year, that's what is recommended for honors. Now, get some waive-ins, we'll end up with 22 to 25%, but that's great. That's a really nice number. Math, we're in the third year of the new math program. I feel great where honors algebra is at right now. I did want to take an extra minute to talk specifically to the board about math and math placements. The statement on the board up there is really the heart of it. With rare exceptions, we prefer that all of our freshmen start with our Algebra 1. Even if they've had algebra in junior high, our Algebra 1 is SAT-based. A lot of the tests have SAT questions embedded. When we have an exceptional math student and they want to go ahead, we don't hold them back. They can do that. But that should be the exception more than the rule. And that wasn't like that 5-6 years ago. A fine math student, we would push them into geometry. Well, it really came from a pretty serious study that we put out. We called colleges. We said, is it important that every kid gets to an AP Calc? And they said, if students come to us with a great base in algebra and geometry and a taste of calc, that's perfect. So we redesigned things to work that way. We looked at the SAT and the ACT. They're about 70% algebra. There is no calculus on an ACT or an SAT. So we've always said, what's the rush? Let's make sure that they've got 3 years of mastery, and then we think our math scores are going to take a jump this year. I think they're going to take a huge jump next year as the program's fully in. So this is just a quick snapshot. Most of our freshmen will enter at Algebra 1. They'll go to geometry. They'll go to Algebra 2, and then they go to calculus, and they couldn't do that in the past. If they entered in geometry, they could get to calc. We've redone it. Love what that's happening. But here's the heart of it. The ACT and SAT live right there in those 3 years. If a student jumps into geometry right away, the last time they've seen algebra is a year before they take their ACT, and it's an algebra-based test. So we're going to continue to lead kids that direction, but we don't turn anybody down. If we've got a student who jumped in as a freshman into Algebra 2 honors, and he's acing everything, that's a 1 in 1,000 kids, but he's fantastic. So here's our dilemma with math. If they start in geometry, they move to Algebra 2, calculus or AP Calculus as a junior, we have AP classes that they can take, but it's a lot better for a student to take calc right before they go to college, not to have that year gap. And so we don't see a huge advantage unless a student is extremely gifted in math. But we'll see. We'll see how the parents continue to support that. Right now, it's going great. English is about the same, top 20%. Every incoming freshman receives the same composition and writing skills, which is why our writing's in that 80 to 85%. Fantastic. And honors just does a little more in-depth literature, read a little more challenging things, but the skills are the same. And then the last piece is the reading. Reading's the only score that we have a legitimate cut score. We would have 100 sections of reading in the summer, and we can't staff it. We feel that a score of a 29 is equivalent to a really nice ACT walking in the door, or an SAT. Those kids really can do that accelerated pace of the reading in the summer. But if they're not at a 29 or a 1050 composite, that's a hard cut. It allows us to keep it at 6 to 8 sections in the summer, which is great for us. We can staff that with our people, and I think we lose the fidelity of the program if we're just grabbing kids off the street, 22-year-olds, and saying, "Why would you like to teach reading?" So we've held that one pretty solid. So the other sheet that you have, just very briefly, is exactly what the parents receive. So all those scores are in Excel sheets now. They are mail merged into this sheet, and that's what the parents get. When we have the open house, the parents and the kids come with that sheet, and they'll go to the tables, and I don't want to say argue, but they'll talk with the tables and say, my student would like to be in honors, and if they've got a close score, we usually say go for it. If it's not close, we just want them to make an educated decision. We don't want a kid in there and floundering if he's not really ready to go. So I like our system. I think we're going to continue to have some challenges with the math, because the junior highs are doing a better and better job of the math, and that may push us in the next year or two. But for right now, this works really well for us. So.
I have one question. Sure. These scores change on a yearly basis?
Since we've been using the PSAT 8-9, they haven't, so the last few years. But we do monitor that 20%, and if the kids get a little better, we may kick it up. But we know that those scores are equivalent to what we used to test on the Explorer to get into honors, so I think they'll stay the same for a